Welcome to Talk Purpose and Truth with Eden and Kim, shifting you into higher consciousness, the show that elevates, uplifts, and encourages listeners to grow, heal, awaken, and evolve. Eden and Kim include bold topics, special interviews with inspiring guests, intuitive readings, channeled messages from beyond, including celebrities, hot topics to expand your awareness, and time for questions from the audience. Tune in for unprecedented truth, authenticity, on-purpose discussions, and magical moments.
I am going to introduce her. Nathalie Botros is a psychotherapist, author, podcast host, life and health coach, and happiness fairy, busy spreading her happiness dust. She is known as the Bon Vivant Girl, as she takes pleasure from everything she does in her life. She is the author, I love this title, of the book, If You Are What You Eat, Should I Eat a Skinny Girl? She also appears and speaks often on one of our favorite topics, mental health. Welcome, Nathalie.
Hello, ladies.
Hi, Natalie.
So
nice to have you here.
You have such a bright glow about you. So I love that already.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So a lot of people base their happiness on how their body looks. How can someone get past this and be happy regardless? Kind of like what I was just talking about.
So it's true. It's not only about their body. Everybody attach their happiness to something or someone. It can be the job, the partner, or the body, because they think that when they're going to obtain that, it's going to bring them happiness, which is not true, because you can get the amazing body. I mean, if everybody who had the best body will be happy, so it means that all the people who have some weight are unhappy and all the people who are skinny are very happy. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. And I think that we have to, if we want to learn how to love ourselves, it's like the first step to be happy. And I always give this exercise to my clients. I ask them to stand in front of the mirror naked and to look at their body, and then find at least one thing that they like about it. And I know that sometimes it's hard, but even I don't know, your eye, your shoulder, and then once that they love that part, they can go and just find another part. Slowly they will start accepting their body and loving it, and then that will really make them happy regardless their body issues. And then it can be, when I say body issues, it's not only weight problems, it can be any flaws that we have. And I think we have the tendency, if we have, I don't know, a big nose, or let's say a small breast, we're trying to hide it in so many different ways that actually people look at it even more. So if you're in peace with yourself, nobody will dare saying anything about your body.
Yeah, so
right.
That's the energy we put out.
Yes.
And what we feel on the inside is what we're going to put out.
Exactly. And then if I feel that I'm rocking hot, nobody will dare, because I will emit that energy so strongly that everybody will feel that energy, and they won't even see any of my flows. But to be able to do that, you have to first believe in it, because you cannot pretend.
Right. How does your book relate to that?
Oh, my book is actually, it's one of the biggest exercises in it. and I wrote my book because when I moved to New York more than 15 years ago, in less than a year, I gained more than 40 pounds. And I mean, I was never skinny girl, but I was never a chubby girl. But I mean, suddenly my whole life changed, and I got really obsessed with this weight loss. And I was so obsessed that I stopped living, and then I wasn't losing, and I started doing every diet in this world. And what I was doing is not losing weight, but losing my joy of life. And so what I did, I hit rock bottom. I was that one day in front of TV, hating everything and everyone and myself, trying to eat 3 carrots, but dreaming about the other food. And I started, I saw this show, it was called How to Love Yourself Naked, or How to Look Naked Well, where they were really putting these, helping these women to love their body. And then they were teaching them how to get dressed, how to, be in peace with themselves. And the last shot was to put them on a billboard in Times Square naked, getting their photography, and then like they will ask the walkers by like how they think, like, you know, how was the body, and like all the remarks were all so positive that the woman's self-esteem will increase. So it's from where I got my exercise. I created my exercise. I said, you know what, like let's use that on yourself, and it really worked because like I didn't lose weight when I was watching myself in the mirror, but my energy started to shift. And like people were like, wait a second, you're feeling good, you're losing weight. I'm like, no, actually no, it's just that I stopped hating my life and myself and I'm starting loving my curves. And with time, I really use my, I said, like, you're a psychotherapist, use it on yourself instead of on others. You know, I use it on myself, and I really worked first on my primary food, which is my life, you know, like my person, my happiness, before working on my secondary food, which was my plate. And this book, it's my story, my little anecdotes, and how to help. I give like little tips. I have like more than 60 tips, little tips that you can change in your life, and you can really lose weight without losing your appetite for your life, you know, like without losing your joy.
So no diet.
It's not that I don't believe in diet. I really think
Yeah.
that, and you know, like I believe in bio individuality, which is like everybody has a different body, different needs, different lifestyle, different genes. So your diet can be my poison. So in my book, I explain people to take, you know, everybody talks about food journal, but what I want is like them to take a food mood journal and actually put everything in it. You know, like I ate 3 olives, or like I ate a Snicker bar because it was on the table and not because I was hungry. So, you know, like, and then like I ate this because I felt a bit depressed. So at the end, you can really figure out your happy and unhappy food. And believe me, losing weight, it's not living on kale or quinoa or like, you know, the latest fashion. It's like really on eating the right food for you. Some people, they lose weight eating meat. Some other people eat, you know, like they're like vegetarian, it works for them. So yeah, no diet.
Okay.
Do you
Okay.
feel like it helps to, because for me, I feel like I love examples. Like you said that you saw these women on the billboard and how they felt and it inspired you. And I too, like just from hormone stuff, I probably have gained about 15 pounds. And I'm in that place of like, okay, I'm working on loving my body. And then as a result, I exercise more or eat better. But the loving is first. But it helps me to see other women, celebrities, or people on TV that are real, that show their real pictures on Instagram, or admit that they too have gained some weight and they love themselves. I feel like that's really inspiring.
I think it's really, it's, you know, like in the past, like, and more we have this body positive movement that I love. But in the past, like everything that we see was like photoshopped, and you know, like everything like cookie cutted. And now like seeing real women out there doing it, making it happen, it really helps. And the funny thing is, you know, like when I wrote the book, I mean, then I was like, I lost all the weight. And then in the meantime, I gained back some weight. I mean, life comes back, you know, like I gained back the weight. But I love myself so much that when I look at the pictures, I think I'm better now with more weight on than what I was before. So it's like, you know, I'm like, actually, I look amazing, you know?
Oh, it's about your attitude.
Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, like, I'm trying, you know, I see on my clothes that they're tight, but when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, I'm hot.
Oh.
Yes. Awesome.
Oh, okay. So moving on, you've been speaking a lot about mental health in today's times.
Yeah.
Okay. So what have you found to be the most, what kind of mental health issue is on the rise right now in the U.S., especially in New York City? I know you talk about that. Can you tell us more? Can you expand on that?
I mean, right now with COVID in New York City, it was like really, people were like taking care more about their health, physical health, than their mental health. But what they don't get is that the mental health is like, it's what makes you function. It's like if your mental health, you know, like I tell people, let's say your finger bleeds, you can just put a band-aid. it's like it's gonna maybe stop, but it will always bleed, you know, like you have to cure it and then like work in it. And then people are scared to get into that and then to work on themselves. And during COVID time, everybody used a little this as an excuse, and like they let themselves go. And I understand that there was like no right or wrong way to face it. Let's be honest. It's like everybody like dealt in a different way, but some people really let it go, and then like their loneliness like came over, and like they were like getting really into depression.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, so you're
And-
seeing more depression.
And
Definitely.
what would you say is the best remedy for that? Because I know here in California, and then just talking to people, we're part of a global mental health campaign called the Imperfectly Perfect campaign, which is all over, and the suicide rates have gone way up as well. And so what do you feel is a solution for people who are struggling?
I mean, it's my happiness dust that I spread. It's like, it's, you know, it's like, it's going to sound like it's logical. You have to be happy to overcome. And what I say, it's like actually hitting rock bottom. It's in a way, it's horrible, but you cannot go lower. You can only go higher. So when you hit that rock bottom, your options is like to go up. And what I have like little exercises that I give to my clients or like to people. For example, I ask them if they're like living, you know, in this like very dark life. I ask them to write it down. You know, they can just like write down all their thoughts, really dark, like with no filter, nothing, and put it on the side. And then, I mean, they can put it in a box if they want, and then I want them to reread it like the day that they feel a little better, and then like see if it really relates to them, and then either burn that paper or like tear it into pieces and throw it away, throw that anger and that like, you know, sadness away. And it really, really helps. Actually, it's a very good technique to use for patients who have been through trauma to deal with their trauma. So this technique is like, it's easy and it really, really works.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. I think getting something out on
Yes.
paper.
Yeah. And
is
you know,
really
sometimes, yeah, it really
powerful.
helps. And sometimes we have difficulties to talk with others. So this is between you and yourself. Nobody's going to read it. And like some people, they're like, can I put it on the computer? I said, no, I wanted to write it, you know, like with handwriting, like you have to feel it. And then like when you read it, cry, you know, like feel all, laugh, cry, like feel all those emotions. Actually, when my father passed away 25 years ago, I really grieved thanks to that method. I would like write everyday letters to him, you know, tell him I hate you because you left me. I love you because I miss you. And then like it will like really like day after day, I was feeling like lighter.
For more information on Eden, go to edensustin.com. For more information on Kim, go to kimlifecoach.com. Make sure to follow them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Talk Purpose and Truth Podcast. If you loved this episode, you'll love every episode. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thank you for listening.